What's up YouTube, it's TF Collector, and today I'll be reviewing the Blokees Classic Class 06 Mirage from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And before we take a look at the figure and build it, we're going to first take a look at the packaging. So you can see on the front, Blokees Transformers, a nice picture of Mirage there, striking a pose. There's his head, 66 pieces, Classic Class Mirage, authentic. If you want to follow Blokees on Facebook, there you go. On this side, a nice profile image of Mirage, Blokees Transformers. Down here, Classic Class 06 Mirage of the Champion Figure Series. On this side, picture of Mirage, his accessories, more Mirage, and joints are movable. Hooray! On the back of the packaging, you have all of this writing, and you have me, hello, but you have all this writing. You can see faction, mission, whatnot. You can pause and read that if you want. But another picture of Mirage, all your sprues, your display base, Mirage, hooray! On the top, you have Mirage Classic Class. On the bottom, you have a barcode, Hasbro, and please do not eat these pieces. They will harm your body. But that is it for the packaging. And without further ado, let's see what we get in the box. So let's use our scissors, slice this one little piece of tape right here. If I can get my scissors to work, a knife would be better, but I don't have one on hand. But if you do, I certainly recommend using a knife instead. A little bit of a difficult time there. Not usually that hard, but anyways, let's open it up and see what all comes inside the packaging. So you can see you have this bag with sprues, you have this bag with effects parts and body and ball joint. Hooray! You have instructions. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. You have display base, more sprues, and that is it that you get in the box. Now, as for this instruction manual, you get your battery instruction manual, you get a sticker sheet with Mirage peeking out at you there. That is render Mirage concept art. That is not actual Mirage. Luckily, they gave us actual Mirage here, though. But on the instructions, you can see there's Mirage, Classic Class, Authentic, Blokees. On the back, Blokees, Transformers. And as I always like to try to remember to mention, you get this beautiful artwork on the inside of the instructions. And one other thing to note is you do get a parts list right here. But that is about it for the instructions. That's everything you get in the box. So let's build it. And after getting him all built up here is Blokees Classic Mirage in his built robot mode. And as you can see, this is a very accurate, amazing looking figure. But coming in close on the head sculpt, if I can get it to slightly focus there we go. You can see a beautiful mouth plate with the blue head and the little silver piece there on the back. Exactly what we saw in the movie. Just coming down the body here, some more beautiful silver with some orange and blues going on. Silver there on the crotch piece. Beautiful paint blue used there on the thighs with that little bit of red. Just coming down, lots of nice molded detailing. The arms here done in silver along with these pieces. On the back, you can see more amazing molded detailing here with even some little tires molded in. And these two tires are very reminiscent of what we saw in the movie. So overall, just a perfect looking little Mirage here. And as far as the articulation on Mirage goes, he does have quite a bit. The head can look up that far, down that far. Can rotate a full 360. The arm can rotate a full 360. It can move in and out. It can also move a little bit up and down just due to the way he's built, but not as much as they usually can. You do have a bicep swivel and way over 90 degrees of bend there at the elbow. The wrist can rotate side to side and also slightly move inward and outward. You do have waist rotation. The legs can kick forward not very high, just to about there, and back just to about there. Outward, you can get a full split. You do get a rotation above the knee, along with over 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and the ankles are on ball joints, so they can swivel side to side. They can pivot up. They can not really pivot down just due to the way the foot is molded, but you do get a nice ankle tilt either way. So overall, some very good articulation here on Mirage. And when it comes to Mirage's accessories, he comes with quite a few. First, the main one he comes with is his blaster here, done nicely in gunmetal gray with a little blue piece there. Show off how that works here in a minute. He also comes with 2 sets of optional hands. First of all, you get these splayed open no hands, which are nice options if you want to use those. But you also get these 2, like, hey, you get 2 of those. So you can tell, hey, you get 2 of those. And basically how you would swap the hands out is you would just take his hand off the ball joint. You would pop a new hand back on there. I'm just going to show how one side works. Both sides are the same. And he can be like, hey! If you want to use the blaster, you just pop this whole forearm section off, which usually, unfortunately, pops this section off as well. So let me get that out, because usually I have to use pliers to do that. And I did have to bring out the old handy-dandy pliers to get that piece out of there. But basically what you would do is just put this piece right back up in there where it was. So just tab that in as I knock his head off. Keep your head, and then bring the gun in, and it will just go right over top of that piece. So just tab it all in. Make sure you push it up in there, and it tabs in good, which is not wanting to work, please. Oh my goodness, everything is just falling apart. But once you get that all plugged up in there, that is how you want that blaster to look, tabbed into his arm, and that makes for a nice display option. And one other accessory that Mirage does, of course, include is his display base. And as you can see, Blokees, Rise of the Beast, there's Mirage. That's not his actual head. That's his CGI head. But you have these blue pieces, and it works the same. You have all these little tabs down in here. Little posts, or not posts, little ports in the feet for them to go into. And there you go. Mirage can stand on his base. And one last thing that we need to talk about with Mirage is he can, of course, light up. So we can do this. Hey Siri, lights off. Ta-da! He lights in the chest and in the eyes and on his head crest. It's beautiful! And now for some comparisons with Mirage. First, here he is with Blokees 01 Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beast. You can see how that works. Here he is with Blokees 02 Bumblebee from Rise of the Beast. So you can see how those two look together. And with Blokees 03 Scourge from Rise of the Beast. So you can see how he looks with the big baddie from the movie. And for a non-Blokees comparison, here he is with the Studio Series Mirage. So you can see how those two look together. And I will say the Blokees version way more accurate. Obviously can't transform, but almost perfect in accuracy. Whereas this one, it could use an improvement. But this Blokees version, absolutely perfect. And last but not least, here he is with a CG image of how Mirage appeared in Transformers Rise of the Beast. So you can see just how truly close they got to a perfect model of how he appeared on screen. So this has been my review for the Blokees Classic Class 06 Mirage from Transformers Rise of the Beast. And I have one very minor complaint. Other than that, this figure is amazing. The build is super fun, and the robot mode is, in my opinion, other than maybe 3-0 and YOLO Park, the most accurate Mirage we have to date. This Mirage is amazing, looks amazing, just overall a great figure. Now, the one complaint that I did talk about a little there is that when you take the forearm off to swap it out with the gun, you do have that one little piece that usually likes to come off with the forearm that I mentioned earlier in the video. I unfortunately have to use pliers to get out of the forearm to put back into the arm. That is a little bit annoying. I wish they could have made that a little little looser, maybe not too loose, but it is way too tight on my version. So just maybe a QC issue, but a little complaint I have nonetheless. But the figure itself looks amazing. He has a great head sculpt, and just overall, no complaints. He looks just like he hopped off the screen, and I love it. So if I had to rate this Mirage on a scale of 1 to 10, he is going to get the highest rating of these Blokees so far with a 9.5 out of 10. I think he is almost perfect. The figure itself might be perfect, just a minor QC issue on mine that I do have to complain about. But Mirage gets a 9.5 out of 10, an awesome figure that I certainly recommend everyone pick up. The build is fun, and what you get is a great figure. Now, as far as future reviews go, we still have some Age of the Primes figures to go through, along with Lego Soundwave and a few more Blokees Classic Class figures. And I also am getting the new wave of Studio Series now. I got Barricade in the other day from the last night, but unfortunately he came with the wrong accessories. So I have emailed Hasbro and will hopefully get the right accessories in the next week or so, and we'll be able to put that video out for you all to enjoy. But until then, don't forget, never sacrifice the things you love for the approval of others. I will see you all soon with those reviews, and until then, roll out. Peace!